What are we building, Scott? Let's make a game or something. What does our game do? What do you think? I don't have an opinion.
How about like a not necessarily Scrabble, but like a word type app? I don't know.
What about like trivia? Trivia
Sure.
feels like something we could actually make in 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, for sure.
Sweet. Awesome. We could do something like Hangman or something like that. In fact, I bet we could do a Hangman game pretty quick.
I would prefer to see that out of the two.
Yeah, let's try it. We're
Yeah.
gonna try.
Okay.
Well, Hangman might be tough. So let's just try to overview all the tough parts that we'd have to build with something like Hangman. Trivia is probably more of a 20-minute thing.
If you think trivia is gonna make a better lesson,
I
go
think
for it.
Hangman would take me a couple hours, is the only thing. But maybe not. I don't know. We could try it. We could try Hangman, but without the actual hanging man. Because that's just going to be annoying. But actually, we could try doing a Hangman game. Okay, so today
Okay.
on Learning Time with John, we're going to attempt to make a Hangman style game in 20 minutes. Dokie? Okie dokie. I don't know if anyone watches the new Fallout series, but I've watched the first two episodes and it's very good actually. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead. I heard the words okie dokie is what reminded me of it. I'll let y'all watch it and see why. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go to let's just start building shit. Okay, so get rid of that. Bye. I'm gonna go ahead and close that, close this, close that. Is that my last one? It's the last one. So we'll do a new one. We're gonna say no. CD integrating. We're gonna make a directory. We're gonna call this Hangman, and we're gonna CD into Hangman. So the first thing I need to think about, and this is why like doing a bunch of coding problems is great, is because I need to now think of a strategy for how this is gonna work. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is start kind of planning that out. But first thing I'm gonna do is open this up and start off a little node project. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type in npm. Actually, first I want to see my node version. I'm on 21. That should be nice. npm install. Oh, whoops. npm init. That should initialize this. I want a decent looking CLI tool. So I'm gonna look up CLI input node. We'll see what we get. I see read line, but I feel like there's a good one. There's got to be like a TTY thing or something. I wonder if there's a TTY node. TTY node. See if that. TTY prompt. They had a library called TTY prompt for Ruby that was really good. What's this one? Nope, that is for Ruby. Node TTY. I wonder how that looks. But we'll say Node CLI library. We'll just Google that. CLI tools. ZX. Try that one. What does ZX do? How's this look? I don't want to do that. Ink. Whoa, this looks way too much. As cool as that looks, this is too much. That is cool. I actually want to try that. Chalk, I think, is one I've used. I think it's an easy one. Chalk. This is just for logging, though. Is there like a question asking thing? Inquirer? This looks good. Inquirer. Input. Sweet. This looks easy. So we're going to install this. So I'm just going to do this. npm install inquirer / prompts. So we're going to go here. Install that. Do. And first thing we're going to do is just fuck around with that, get it working. And then what I want to do is talk about how this is going to look. But first, we're just going to have an index.js. So I'm going to go to my index.js. We're going to start working. Start working. Start getting some shit done. Something looks weird though. So first things first. Do I get imports for free here? Import from inquirer prompts. Let's see what we're gonna pull out of here. We want input should be good. So let's try input dot. I think maybe I could say message. Oh, you get a theme? That's cool. What is your favorite color? I should say answer. Also, I kind of want. We'll stick with this. Okay, and I'm just gonna console.log your answer is. Okay, let's see if this little game works. Node index.js, and we get mad probably because of the module thing that I was worried about. So we're gonna do const input equals require, and we're gonna see if that works better. Whoops. Whoops. What is your favorite color? Billy. And I get nothing because I never awaited on it. So we're gonna try one more time. And now we're not happy because valid and async. Oh, so what this is gonna want me to do is probably go back to the syntax I had before. But then I think I need to go and make this pretty sure type is module. See if that does the trick. We're praying. We're praying. Oh, there we go. My favorite color is Billy. And it says Billy. Do I like the way that looks? Not particularly. So what we could do, what would be the best? Maybe I'm just going to try read line sync and see how that goes. We'll try that out. We're going to try just read line sync. Import blah, blah, blah from read line. I'll do promises. Actually, will be good. And here I should be able to say read line. And now I should be able to say console.log. What is your favorite color? And here we're gonna say, oh, we can say const answer equals read line. Whoops. Await read line, I think will do the trick. And now I should be able to do console.log answer. Okay, let's see how this looks. So now I'm gonna go here, doopity-doo, run that again. Read line is not a function. It's supposed to be read line dot. Maybe I need to do.
I got a quick question.
Sure.
What's the await word? I've never seen that before.
Don't worry. I want you to not stress about that super aggressively right now.
Okay.
Um,
I'm
but
mostly I'm mostly just focusing on program structure at the moment.
yeah,
And
that's exactly why I don't
yeah,
worry
what's
about it.
necessary to like
Just
execute things
know that
after
you
you
will
make them.
need it.
Okay.
Is readline come from FS? Is that what it is? FS? No. Do I need to import readline sync? Let's just try this for now. In fact, this will be easier probably. Sorry, I
Okay.
don't build CLI tools that often.
I didn't want to step on your toes, but I was gonna say it's okay if you just use readline sync
Okay,
because that's
I'll
what I'm
try this out.
using
We'll try it
anyway.
out. We will try it out. Let's see. Boom. We're gonna import. We'll try that out. And we're gonna do Okay, let's try it out. Let's see. Doopity-doo. Oh, whoops. Node index.js. Okay. Didn't ask me a question, but I shouldn't need this then. So I should just be able to console.log here. And then, whoops.
It should have asked you a question just declaring the variable, right?
I don't know. Let's see if this works. What is your favorite color? We're going to say red. Cool. Awesome.
Okay.
So now we need to figure out a way to render a hangman letter. So what I want to do is I need to think about a data structure that can track hangman word or something like that. So
Mhm.
for me, what I'm going to do is rather than just make a word, I'm going to make a word a, let's make a word an array of objects. So for example, let's say my word is hello. Now I could have the letter is H, the guest is false. Or I might not even need that actually. In fact, we probably don't need that. Maybe we could just do a word. I don't know. There's tons of ways you could do this, but I'll just make it a word. Let's say word
Okay.
equals hello. Okay. And then what I can do is I could say guest letters is an array. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I have a random word here. Hello. It's not random yet, but eventually we can make it random. And what I need to do is I need to draw out that letter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a print word. Okay. And what print word is going to do is print word is going to take in a word and it's going to take in guessed letters. Okay. And I could probably do something like this. Let's say console.log. We're going to take this word. We're going to split it by character. I would argue if it's a space, we're going to have to do something fancy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say for each character, here's what we're going to do. If guessed letters includes maybe that character, then, oh wait, this looks like shit. Hang on. I'm going to say for each character, oh gosh, what am I doing? I'm going to say if that character, actually first we'll handle if it's a space. So if that's a space, we're going to return that space. If that character dot to lowercase, or actually what I'm gonna do it with a dot find. I think it's the right thing. So I'm gonna say if word dot. You're good. No, you're totally good. But yeah. I'm gonna say if I'm sorry, if guessed letters dot sum letter, that letter dot to lowercase, and we'll say word dot includes that letter. Then what we're going to do is we are going to return that character. Otherwise, we're going to return a, and actually we're going to do this. We're going to do two spaces if it's a space, and we'll do underscore space if it's, or actually we'll do an underscore hyphen if it's a, I think that'll look okay. And then we'll have to join it. Oops, join by, actually, I could probably do this. Join by dot. This won't look great, but it'll be fine. It'll be a good thing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna, before we even get this prompt working and we get a game loop set up, we're just gonna go ahead and console.log print word. And actually I shouldn't even need that. I should just need print word, and we're gonna do hey there, buddy. Just to see what we get. Okay. So let's go ahead and run this. we got fucked up because it says guessed letters. I never included guessed letters. So let's say we've guessed H, we've guessed T, and we've guessed a D. Let's see if I did my logic right. Okay, so now when I run this, it says, hey there, buddy. Okay, so that's definitely wrong. We're saying if some letter word dot includes. Oh, this is probably the wrong logic. If guessed letters, so here I've only guessed an HTD. Word dot includes that letter dot to lowercase. Hang on. For each letter. So my letters would be H, T, and D. And here I'm mapping over the word. And if some word, hang on, if guessed letters, no, this is not right. I would have to do if some guessed letter is included in the word. Is that correct? So let's say I have an H, okay? Now what I would be doing is for W, yeah, this is not right. This would be even easier. Some letter, it would be if letter dot to lowercase is equal to my character. Dot to lowercase. See if that fixes it. Boom. Okay, there we go. So now we have a way of like rendering it, right? Does this make sense kind of on step one of the process? Anything confusing so far?
No, it's pretty straightforward. It's still
I
it,
haven't got to the part where it's like game structuring really yet. But
gotcha. Okay.
what I
Yeah, yeah,
have
no,
done is like identify pieces to the game that are,
yeah,
useful, right?
yeah.
One thing we could do is figure out things like max fails, right? I could just
Sure. Yeah.
hard code this. Let's say you get 3 tries right now, right?
Hmm.
Cool. This is just we're just throwing that in as a variable. And then let's also say that we have I failed yet? And maybe this could be a function. And what would I need in order to check that? Well, I would probably need the word. Actually, what I would need is guessed letters. Maybe what we would need is a game status. In other words, maybe we need to know, have we failed, have we succeeded, or are we still going? Right? That could be a
Yes.
good guess. So maybe in here I could have a word, I could have a guessed letters. And what I could do is I could say something along the lines of, well, if my word, or maybe what I would say here is if guessed letters dot length is greater than max fails, we return failed. If guessed letters dot length is greater than, or maybe we need a little more data. Maybe I could say something like const is complete would be if my word dot every, I could do something like letter index, and here I could say letter. Oh, yeah, I could do this. Actually, I wouldn't need the index. If every letter, what I could do is say my guessed letters dot some guessed letter guessed letter dot to lowercase equals my letter dot to lowercase. So in other words, I'm checking to see if I'm complete. And now I could say, if this is the case and it's not complete, return failed. If it's the case and it is complete, return success. I could really just actually probably bail on this and say if is complete, return success. Otherwise, if none of these is done, then I should be able to just return in progress or something like that. That feels good. So this feels like a good little helper function to make, right? And now what I could do is I could start thinking about, okay, how's this code gonna look? In my mind, what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to start the game and then ask some questions. So in other words, and then we'll create a loop. So maybe what I'll do is a while loop. We'll say while is game complete, we could say equals false. And now what we could do is we could say while the game is not complete, we do some stuff. What I think I'm going to do here is I'm going to console.log welcome to Hangman. Let's play. And maybe what I could do is make a little function for printing the word. So perhaps what I would have here is something like we'll have the word, or maybe we can even call it a phrase. And I could refactor print word to print phrase. Because technically it accounts for some spaces and stuff like that too, right? But let's for now just do a single word phrase. Phrase is hello. And I'm also going to say that my guessed letters is an empty array because they haven't guessed anything yet. So that shouldn't be a problem. Cool. We'll leave max fails at the top there. So while my game is not complete, what I'm going to do is I am going to say, let's just print that word. Print word or print phrase. And we're going to dump in our phrase and our guessed letters. And then maybe we could also do a print score or something like that. So maybe I could go here and say const print score is going to be something like, maybe in here we take in a word and guess the letters. And in here we're going to say count equals guessed letters dot length. And really that's all you would need. But I would argue that the way you don't actually print a score, what you would do is you would make a little here. I could probably Google it. Hangman art, ASCII art. So, holy shit, this is excellent. Okay, so you could do something like this, right? If you wanted to, be juicy with it, okay? You could get something like this, and we can make some ASCII art. So, for example, what I might do in another, this is what cleaning up code is all about. So in here, I could have a hangman ASCII.js. And in here, I'm going to do export const, I'll call it game states. And in here, I'll do an array. And in here, you want to use template literals for something like this, but maybe step 1 looks like this. Or really, that's going to be step 5. So Now what I could do is I could have, let's do this. I don't know how many steps it'll be, but let's just do all of them, right? I'll have too many right now. So first step is going to be none. So we're going to get rid of this. Second step is just going to be the head, or maybe the body. I'm not sure. Let's just do the head. Third step will be the body. Fourth step will be the arms too, or unarm. Fifth step will be both arms, one leg, all legs. Then we're going to get rid of the rest of this. Right? So our total steps that we have in here is one, some space here, two, three, four, five. We also might need some, I realize that these places with backslashes, you need two backslashes, otherwise it cancels out. So, whoops, backslash. So here you need two backslashes, so that way it cancels out the second one. Anything not make sense here so far? So what I
Oh,
should be
it's
able to
good.
do, what? Go for it.
I said no, it looks good. It's cool to see some terminal based graphics being
Yeah,
made.
it's kind of fun, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty rad.
So now in here, what I could do is I could say, okay, well, if that's my, now when I print my score, right, I can just really quickly say, hey, my guest letters dot length, right? I could probably do something along the lines of console.log, those game states, which the way that this imported, did it automatically. It just did import game states from Hangman ASCII, right? That's all that it did. And then from here, game states indexed at count should do the trick, hopefully. And now the idea is we're going to do this. We're going to print the score, and we'll dump in our phrase and our guest letters. And you could probably do in here somewhere like if we got the count, we could probably do console.log somewhere here. We'll say like word.length over guest letters. Oh, this is backwards. I don't know that this is exactly what you want. But we'll say word. It might be a little funky. Like I'm sure that there's going to be stuff to hammer out. But then what I would do is I would guess a letter. So I would do, yes, you're next. Letter. And here's where I would do letter equals prompt. And I'm going to call a trim on it, which just cleans it up a little bit.
Can I say something really quick?
Sure.
I I'm well aware of the while loop. However, I overlook that often when I write my code. I guess I just
Yeah.
don't use it enough. I forget it's even an option. That's going to help me tremendously.
Yeah, it should help. And then here, what I could do is something like if uh you know, this is where you'd have to do like an if statement, like if it's over the max fails. If guest letters dot length is greater than max fails, is game complete equals true. If, and you would console.log, you suck. And if actually really what you could do here is better than that. We already kind of did the logic. If get or game status, there it is. And we'll dump in our phrase and our guest letters equals, whoops, success, console.log, you win. If it equals failed, which is it fail that it says or is it failure? It's called failed. You suck. Does this work? I have no idea. There's tons to debug, but and this is mad because could not find Hangman ASCII JS. So it's not liking that import syntax. Game states. All right, one more time. If that doesn't work, we're not going to worry too much about it, but it is nice. What we could do just to make it easy is just put it all in one file, but it's worth learning how to not just put it all in one file. I just don't know that I'm going to do it right now because I'm way over on time. But
I
anyways,
gotcha.
run it. It says guess your next letter. I guess H, which by the way, you can't see it, but it's also printing that there. So let's do this. Instead of showing my terminal here, whoops. Whoops. We're going to show it here, so that way it's a little clearer to see. We're going to run this node index.js. Oh, yeah. Let's play, motherfucker. Guess your next letter. We're going to say H, and it sucks because it says is complete word.every letter. Word.every is not a function. So what I almost guarantee you I did word.every. So it's doing that in is complete because this should be word.split dot every, which I would know if I was doing TypeScript. H, and then it says, oh, we got a H in there. Let's guess an L, except for it. You see how it added one? This is stuff that I would have to figure out, right? Like clearly
Yeah.
there's bugs, right? But it's the start of a little Hangman game.
Yeah, the premise is there.
Let's see
We
if
just
it
need to crank
finishes.
up.
Oh, I win. Look at that. So it's not a good game. There's a lot to figure out, right? But it's
Oh, if it works,
pretty
that's a
certain
really cool app.
with another 30 minutes I'd be able to get this thing working.
Yeah,
Make sense?
for sure.
Cool beans. Go build shit. Be free. Merry Christmas. Peace,
Happy
everybody.
New Year. See you, man.
Toodaloo.